All right, I just made my way to Vienna in Austria, and I'm meeting now Katharina, the country coordinator of Climate Fresk in Austria. Katharina is actually very famous in the international community of Climate Fresk because she founded the community in Austria and contributed a lot to the foundations of the community in Germany. And we are receiving tonight another Fresker from Austria. His name is Lukas, and we are going to interview him to learn a bit more about Austria.
Oh, and before we start, you have to know that Lukas' answers are the result of a collective brainstorming with Katharina, Benoit and Max. And yes, if you're a Fresker, you know that collective intelligence is key. Enjoy!
My name is Lukas. I'm Austrian, just turned 29 recently. I live in Vienna for 8 years now. Climate science brought me here. I studied resource management in Vienna, still writing my master thesis about historical land use in Austria and its impacts on nowadays soil fertility. I started fresking 3 years ago actually, and I'm an orange belt. There has been quite a lot of people being fresked already in Austria in the last few years. It's been around 3,300, I think. We are a lot of freskers also. We'll reach more than 200. It took a while for the community to take off, but it's exponential. So we doubled the number in the last year. Things are turning out to move really fast right now, and also the development of the community here is slowly moving westward. Vienna is in the east of Austria. This is the center of the Climate Fresk, but we're building communities in all the other cities slowly, and that's really good to experience. We do have a very engaged community. We meet once a month. We do share stories and feelings and emotions, but also laughs and good times. We do organize a great Christmas party this year also, so we'll get back together soon. As I can only speak for Vienna, it's actually really easy to live an environmental friendlier life here, as it's a city that has great infrastructure for us to use, you know, public transport and great infrastructure also for bicycles. Also food-wise, like there's so many choices on the street, and a lot of it is vegetarian or vegan already. It's like Austria is a really meat-oriented kitchen. And I think people are also very proud about the schnitzel. And so there is also some cultural barriers to overcome, I'd say. But I'm happy people realize that the vegan option is really often also the better option for your own health. So the topic clearly took off throughout the last years. Yeah, people are well informed. The media is talking about it a lot. A little scary that most of the stories that are in the media right now is about the last generation. So the last generation is an association in Europe that comes together to ask their government to implement climate action. They are blocking streets. They are gluing themselves often to the streets. And what scares me also is that the last generation is laughed about. It's a TikTok meme. It's a fun story to tell, that people glue themselves to the street rather than thinking about why people start doing such desperate things. People like their wealth, and often in Austria it's correlated with losing that wealth if you want to act on the climate situation. I think we don't yet grasp on how much different kind of wealth we would generate through an environmentally friendly life. And I think that's probably what's hindering us in a quicker move forward. There's many consequences also in Austria regarding the climate crisis. Mostly water related though. It's either drought or floods. Been really intense this summer, 2023. It was the hottest ever recorded. It's been super dry, but also we had devastating floods in some regions. We live in an alpine region, so also we do have melting permafrost in the mountains. The permafrost is a permanently frozen ground. If they start melting up and getting warmer, the stone structures that are held together by the ice in between, they slowly melt, and the rocks just fall off. The mountains are a great place for me to find my inner peace, so it's kind of sad to see that that safe space being less safe for me to experience, and also for others. So that brings me to Austria being strongly dependent on tourism and mountaineering tourism, especially winter tourism. So yeah, it's going to be challenging for Austria to find a way on how to attract tourists to experience our country throughout the whole year. So let's start with some great climate news in Austria. We got introduced to the climate ticket. That's a public transport ticket for the whole country of Austria. You can take every public transportation in the whole country. It's been a great success that it's released last year. It's pretty expensive, so it could be cheaper. It's around €1,000 a year. What's interesting, that the infrastructure here is not capable of taking so many people on trains because so many people bought that ticket, which is great news because now they realize they have to build a better infrastructure. So another great news being the Climate Council. 100 people from all areas of Austrian society coming together and represent the Austrian state. And they were informed on 6 weekends about the climate crisis and by experts and scientists. And in the end come up with very ambitious action plans. They handed this action plan to the Austrian government, and now it's in their hands to get that into action. Sadly, I also have bad news, one of them being the Klimaschutzgesetz, so a climate protection law that's been there for more than 1,000 days, so almost 3 years, but not being legally into place. So like we don't have an actual climate protection law, and we're waiting for it for more than 1,000 days now. I'm really enthusiastic about meeting the author of a book I'm reading right now. The book's name is Hoch die Hände Klimawende. It's only in German, I think, but the author is Gabriel Baunach. He's talking about the concept of the ecological handprint. What I really like about this concept is that you have such a strong influence, and you can have such a strong influence on others, on society. You want to enhance and enlarge your ecological handprint and diminishing and getting rid of your ecological footprint. And I think the Climate Fresker is a really cool tool to enlarge your ecological handprint. Thanks for having such a great initiative. I'm really happy to be part of it.
Yeah, so we should be working now. The right-wing political situation, or?
And then the climate puzzle makes it all blue again, and that's every chance.